Well, and this takes me to chapter 3 of your book, right? You wrote about who are we together. So chapter 1 is who am I, gaining that self-awareness. Chapter 3 talks about who are we together. And I want to read another excerpt from the book for our audience here. And who are we together is all about relationships. Right? And you say the relationship is the container. I often describe relationships as containers. Think of a glass jar. If it's strong, clear, and well cared for, you will fill it with something precious and trust that it will hold. If it's cracked, brittle, or neglected, whatever's poured in it won't be safe. Tell us what you mean by that. Relationships work the same way.
We are shared humanity. A leader is a chief climate maker.
So true.
The leader creates that container. And the leader creates that moment by moment. That container is not made by slogans on the wall or, a list of values. That container is created just as you said earlier. How do I treat you in the morning? Do I see you and hear you? Do I ask you how your family is? Do I know the name of your husband and your children? Do I know this when you show up if your energy is in a different place than normally?
Right.
Do I know this that your performance has changed today and something's on your mind?
Right.
Do I ask you what's going on and can I help? Do I notice when somebody is bullying another person and stop it? Do I notice if somebody who is a person of color speaks less than anybody else in the room? Do I notice if a woman is talked over? Do I notice if a small man is getting small man jokes? It's everything I do and everything I allow. That's the container. I know leaders can set the tone in such a powerful way. I've had years of experience of going into organizations that are so dysfunctional and so chaotic and frankly so callous because people no longer care and they no longer feel cared. And I know one of the fastest ways I can turn that around is bring a different behavior into the room. And the second way I can turn it around, the fastest way, is to call people on inappropriate behavior.
Yeah.
How many times have we... Tell me about the number of times you've been in groups where you knew who the biggest bully was.
Oh, yeah. You always know the toxic one in
You
the room.
always know it. But he's allowed because he's so important somehow.
Or they close the most sales deals.
Exactly.
So
and
we'll
that,
put up with the toxicity
that
of that
toxicity is allowed to stay in that team. It would never happen with me. And I could tell you stories about how I wouldn't tolerate it. I give them a chance to change.
Sure.
And many do. But that one person who is unwilling to change needs to find work in a different team. And that matters. That matters to my team.
They see it.
They see it.
Whether you're going to allow it or get rid of it.
And I'll add another one. When I have a bad day and I'm short or impatient or critical, I own that.
Yeah.
When I screw up, I need to own it too.
100%.
And I have to apologize. That's how the relationship, the container gets built moment by moment, person by person, and no one can be outside that container. Everyone has to belong.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
No. I think one group that struggles a lot, especially in big organizations, even mid-sized organizations, is that middle manager.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have maybe a leader that's not heart-centered,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe you are,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a team
Mm-hmm.
that works for you and works with you. What advice would you have for them? Because sometimes they're just promoted because they did the best job, right? And they performed well.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make them a leader.
Right.
Or they still don't have the qualities of leadership.
Right.
Advice for that middle manager level.
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge that middle manager level is really tough right now because companies are reducing levels of supervision all across the company. I know so many middle managers now that have double the people reporting to them. So it's a tough job. And they're still held accountable for all the same goals. So, let's acknowledge that right now. But what I would say again, go back to the relation container. Everybody knows how to build relationships. What I would say to middle management is you're told your job is delivering on goals, revenue.
Or you're rewarded for that.
And you're rewarded for that. But when you are promoted from, for example, a technical person, and I would add, even as a technical person, you have leadership opportunities. And it's really important. You still do what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, because even in a technical role, you're leading other technical people. So, but when you are promoted from a technical role to the professional ladder as a leader, I think that sometimes what middle managers are not coached on is your job description has changed. Your job is no longer doer. Your job is getting the job done through the efforts of people. It's a whole different job. Yes. And if you keep doing it if you keep doing the job in the same way, the new job, the way you did the old job, you're not going to be successful. Yeah. That's the first one. There's two great books I would really recommend to middle managers. One is, I think I have the title right, but What Got You Here Won't Get You There. It's a really quick read, but it's a really powerful read. And the other one is Multipliers. And it talks about the difference between a leader who multiplies the potential of their team versus the diminisher who wastes the potential of your team. If you're a middle manager and you want to have your team get outstanding results, be a multiplier. And being heart-centered is multiplying the talents and potentials of your people. Because our job as leaders is first to remove barriers for our people to perform in a great way. Yeah. You don't do that by trying to control people. You do that by unleashing people.
100%.
And you start with your heart. And if you have to go back to team sports or playing an instrument on the band or whatever it was that you used to do with love and joy, go back there.
Yeah. Remember those moments.
Because you know in your heart that delivers better results because it helps you be your best self. The other thing I want to remind middle managers, because I was a middle manager for a long time. Your team doesn't care who your boss is. You are the climate maker for your boss. If you need to be the buffer between your team and a toxic boss, that's also part of your job. And it's not easy. And you're not allowed to say, well, he's making me or she's making me. That's a cop-out. You are their leader. And how you show up informs their day, not how your boss shows up.
So true. And then let's move up the ladder also, right? There are folks that are VPs, SVP, trying to get into the C-suite.
Right. Some of them are my clients.
Right? Yeah. And so then the triangle is getting smaller and smaller, right, as you move up. Advice for them, because again, what got you to be a VP or SVP is not going to get you to be a CIO, CTO, or CEO.
Right.
Advice for them around leadership.
Well, and like I mentioned earlier, some of my first advice is go back to your unique self. You know, sometimes on that journey upwards, we lose touch with what is our superpowers.
Yeah.
You know, go back to that number one. Number two, when you're moving into the C-suite, this is a much different job. Again, this is not a doing job. This is a seeing, envisioning, strategy job, right? When I was coaching and mentoring in my career, one of the things I said to people is, if you want to be promoted, you need to be acting like the job you want. You're not going to get promoted being who you are today. If you want that next job, you need to be acting like you're in that job, because then the people who promote you can see that you're already ready for that job. That's how you get promoted most of the times anyway. And it's the same thing with C-suite. You can't keep showing up being the best deliverer of outcomes in the room, because they're just motivated to keep you in that job, because who else is going to do that good a job?
Yep.
You've got to show up thinking about what is it that the company needs that you could deliver at that next level. And you have to be able to show people that you're past ready to play in that league.
So they're already kind of seeing you with that kind of C-suite role.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll say one more thing. Getting promoted from within is the hardest thing to do. So you also have to look courageously at, is this executive team able to see me in a different way than they've seen me for the last 10 years? Or in some case, people are still at the same company for 20 years. Sometimes it's hard to see you in that position. And if you really want that position, you're going to have to take the risk to look outside. You're going to have to give up safety. And
when courage comes back.
And go
right?
play in the marketplace, right?
Yeah. I want to move on to trust. That's a huge value and thing you promote in the book as well. And there's a beautiful passage here about high trust, high growth. Right? Trust is deeply personal and grows over time. Trust grows when people can count on us to do what we say we'll do, when we own our mistakes, when we show that they share with us, and then it stays with us.
Really important.
When we follow through on our commitments, and when we're courageous instead of playing it safe. Right? Why do you talk about trust so much in your book?
It's foundational. It's foundational to every relationship. Am I safe with you? Do I know that you're always for me, with me, and watching out for me? That's trust. The more I feel trust, Fanny, I feel so much trust with you.
Likewise.
And because I feel so much trust with you, I show up fully me with my doubts and my flaws and my insecurities and my needing to ask you for help. I just show up that way with you.
Yeah.
And there's no armor.
Yeah.
Because I don't need armor with you. That's trust. Yeah. I know that if I show up to one of my meetings with you and I'm in a mess, you'll get down on the floor and sit in the mess with me until I'm ready to get out of it.
Yeah.
That's trust. It's the glue. It's the foundation.
Yeah.
It's everything.
And then to use a word that you said, like the multiplier, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so that's just a one-on-one relationship. Mm-hmm. But then if it's one-on-one plus one to many, plus one to hundreds, plus one to thousands, then we got like a strong culture.
Oh my gosh. Right? We have an unstoppable culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a wonderful analogy, because if it's not me sitting with you in the mess, but it's me watching you sit in the mess with somebody and love them and be with them and then stand up with them, I'm sitting here going, I can depend on her to do that with me. And it, as you said, it just ripples outward. Yeah. And that kind of team is unstoppable. Because they'll go down to the mat for each other.
100%.
And the byproduct is revenue growth, profitability, market share, innovation, sustainable legacy, companies, organizations, schools, universities, countries.
Loyalty, retention,
and
all those things.
And it's all free. No investment needed except the heart.
Yes. Yes.